I did not know what a subprime mortgage was for predatory lending. Sorry I'm late, but this was the best that I can do. It's 9.75 AMR, but you can refinance in 6 months, but it goes up to 11.2 this coming November.
Mortgages are families' largest financial transaction, but they are among the least protected transactions that families enter into.
Standing in the face of losing my home, yes, it's very frustrating. You can begin to get angry, and you just want to. I put it in terms of I go into survival mode. I'll do whatever it takes to, maintain my home and continue to provide for my family.
One foreclosure is one foreclosure too many. People build wealth in their homes, and it's the American dream. And it's taking away that American dream from people who have gotten bad loans, which is not good for a community, and it's not good for that family, and it's not good for America.
Presently, about 1 out of 10 subprime loans are for first-time home buyers. Yet, almost 1 out of 5 families who take out a subprime loan will lose their home to foreclosure. And just from that simple math, it means a lot more families over the last 6 years, more than 1 million families more will lose their homes than became homeowners through subprime loans.
I think most Americans are familiar with the devastation of Hurricane Katrina. Many homeowners, African American, Latino, white Americans, Asians, and the poor generally, were really devastated by that terrible storm. The kind of problem that we are seeing now in the mortgage foreclosure crisis, the kind of loss of home stock, the loss of equity in home ownership among particularly African Americans and Latinos, is in its own way as devastating as the economic dislocation from Hurricane Katrina.
I'm very concerned that a lot of folks are being taken advantage of in our community because not only are they new to the whole banking system of this country, but also there are bad actors out there in the industry, mortgage brokers, that will put people into loans that they cannot repay.
One of the concerns that we have with regard to older persons is that beyond the fact that older persons could possibly lose their homes in which they own free and clear, we also found that with regard to subprime lending, that older persons are 3 times more likely to get a subprime loan than a younger person.
The subprime market today penalizes hard-working families who are playing by the rules and find instead of advancing, they're being left behind in today's economy.
Purchase of this house was May 26, 2006. This was the first home that we have ever owned. But, what got me so upset was that we were told at the time that our mortgage contained the interest, the insurance, and our taxes, and they were neither one of them escrowed in. That's where I was told that was a subprime loan, and it was 100% financing. Because of our medical bills, we never were able to save up a lot.
It's a devastating thing, and not only is it devastating for that family, but it's also devastating for a neighborhood. We find that anytime there's a foreclosure in a neighborhood, it hurts the property values in those neighborhoods.
we had had the opportunity early on in my Senate career to look into the problems of the predatory lending issue, and we weren't able to overcome the resistance from the financial interests. They were able to stymie our work, and we passed a very modest effort. In this was about 2001, I think. When the issue was raised again in 2005, they had told us if we did these modest changes back in 2001 that would be enough and that they would take care of their problems and things wouldn't get worse. And things had gotten a lot worse. And it became clear to all those who had been here at that point that we had been misled, that the problems were much worse, and that the willingness of the industry to police themselves was non-existent.
When I look at the papers today and the condition, I guess, that the mortgage industry is in, first of all, I feel relief that I'm no longer tied up in that. At the same time, I feel sorry for those caught in it.
A few months, I'd say maybe 4 to 6 months into it, our payment changed. And so we went back to them, and with little to no explanation, she said we would have to fix it. That was the phrase used. We'll fix it. And now looking back at it, a fix it means we will refinance you again, which means we'll charge you twice again, which means it adds to your loan. It's just a whole lot to it. And so after they fixed it, and we, tried to get them to undo that, they claimed they couldn't find the paperwork, and we even paid the $100 for them to locate the paperwork, and they just gave us the runaround, and they wouldn't return the phone calls.
As a broker, I started to get, leery watching owners of companies that I worked at start farming my leads or my loans, previous customers of mine, before 12 months. At 6 months, there was one shop that I was looking at where they were asking me, hey, why aren't you calling John Smith? And it's because I just closed this loan. There's no benefit at all. Even if rates were half a point less within 6 months, that's just taking advantage of somebody.
I can pick places like Newark, New Jersey, Cleveland, Ohio, Detroit, Michigan, Toledo. I can pick places in California, other parts of the country where African Americans, Latinos, Asian Americans, single women, heads of households are now just beginning to get a toehold in the new economy. Unfortunately, the loss of equity in those homes, the foreclosure in those homes, is having a devastating impact on those communities.
We need to let folks know that there is a major problem in our communities, and we need to let policymakers know that they have the responsibility to protect consumers from this kind of predatory mortgage lending and all types of predatory practices happening to consumers throughout this country.
We're in this mess to a great degree because there has not been federal regulation. It let there be a space in which these shady operators flourished. I would love to see federal regulation to a much stronger degree. In the meantime, I hope other states do what we did. Make their climates as inhospitable as possible to people that would try to steal people's homes by saddling them with burdens they can't afford.
We've got to really look at the fact that we're going to need laws that provide clear protections for individuals. We want to make sure that lenders are looking at appropriate things such as the person's income and resources and verifying that information to ensure that the individual can pay the loan. And that verification needs to be over the entire term of the loan, not simply at the beginning of the loan.
There are two things that need to be done with mortgage brokers. First is there need to be standards of care that they have, much like other professionals. And second, there need to just be substantive protections on the loans that prevent the worst types of prepayment penalties and other abusive features from being put particularly on subprime loans?
We live by a code of ethics. And we think that's only fair that anyone giving mortgages to people would also have a code of ethics to live by. We as realtors believe strongly in our code. We believe that our job is to help our customers and clients and be accountable to them. And we feel that the lending industry should do the same.
If I can't keep my home, I will continue fighting for these other people that have been hit. This is my life. This is my husband's and my children's lives. We have nowhere else to go.